Morning worlds, another beautiful day up here in paradise. We do have a cyclone somewhat coming down the coast. It's kind of windy out there, but at the moment it's still beautiful up here, but they say in the next couple of days we may or may not have some rain coming down depending on where the cyclone goes. So, all that intro.
Hi, Hippie Trev here and welcome to my channel. Hope you get something out of it.
Right, well, after the debacle of the last model I did, which was the little F1 model that didn't quite turn out as good as it did, I'm actually going to tackle another model. This big truck model here. Now this was sent down to me a few months ago, and came with a letter, and I'll read the letter out to you. So this one arrived in the mail a couple of months ago, and I'll read it out to you, then we'll go through it. So, hi Trev, this is a model knife. Hi Trev, this is a model knife with some new blades, some glue, and I hope it's still okay. Everything should be there. I haven't touched it for a couple of years. Enjoy, mate. I love building them, but I can't with my thumb fingers. Fuck cancer. Cheers, mate. Derek. So I sent old mate some stickers, and he sent me a note back with my own sticker on it, which is pretty cool. So the story is this model's been started. Now this is the first model I've ever taken on where someone else has actually started the model, and anyway, so that's it. It's a big bloody truck model. This arrived in the post, and unfortunately old mate Derek there, he's got some cancer and he can't do it. So he started this like 2 years ago. So he started this model like 2 years ago, and I guess through chemo and everything, and I had a couple of mates that I know that had cancer. One guy, after chemo, he couldn't even open his car door on the cold days because he was getting electric shocks, and he said now, as the note said, he's got cancer, and now he's all thumbs. I felt like that the other day building my model. So yeah, anyway, he sent me this model down to finish off for him. So we got some decals. I'm looking forward to getting to this. After I botched the other one, I'm really looking forward to getting this. But as I was about to say, I've never taken on someone else's model that they've started, so I don't know how. I'll show you how far he's got into it. I'm just hoping he's got everything in the right spot. It didn't have the directions, but he was kind enough to print me off some instruction sheets, so I hope they're enough there, and I hope they're clear enough for me to read. I've got a magnifying glass, so at least I got his instruction sheet. You really can't put these things together without one. You're just guessing all the way. So, like, that's our bit started, like cabin stuff. More cabin stuff, which I won't be painting any of that stuff. Some rims and wheels, but I think he's already used them all up, so these probably won't be used. Quite a few things left on the trees, so quite a lot of painting to do there. I actually like painting them. It takes time, but I like to paint. More bits there that I'm going to have to paint. Like I said, I'll show you how far he's got. Nice bit of chrome. I don't mind chrome, although it's a lot of hard work to file everything off. And some more parts there that will need to be painted. Now he sent me down some glue, which is really cool. Actually two lots of glue. Another beautiful little hobby knife there. I love the hobby knives. Hobby knives, they are fantastic. Some more parts there. Also sent me some new blades, which is glass for the cab, seat. 5 cents, my day's pay. Couple of awesome brushes, really handy. There's the tail shaft. That looks like a couple more supports. That looks like another ring, and quite a few little knife blades for the knife, which is fantastic. Being that size, it'll be I probably wouldn't find them. And gotta love a set of tweezers. So right, well, that's what he's sent down in the kit for me. Now I'll show you how far he's got. So, whoop. So this is as far as he got. So there's a wheel, one wheel off there, which I've actually got there. There's the wheel for it. I guess that goes on. I don't know how that goes on actually. Oh yeah, like that. Alright. So wheel have to be put back on, partly put together. There's the other fuel tank, the front end, and he's got that set up so it does steer. So the front end was actually on. Hang on, make that a bit clearer. So when it arrived, the front end was actually on the truck model, but it's since come off. But he's done a really good job. I actually struggled getting my wheels to actually turn like that, so he's done a fucking great job getting that done. Radiator, which I'll probably run a bit of silver paint over, and the engine he's put together. I normally paint all these parts, so my first job I'll be starting with, I'm going to go around and I'm going to start painting up all the engine and everything. Black's really hard to cover with paint, especially yeah, I'll paint it anyway, but black never usually works out very well. But I'm going to go around, I normally paint things like your alternator, and I'll try and get in there and paint all the little bits and put it all together. So anyway, that's it, world. So like I said, it's I don't know what the challenge is taking on someone else's model that's already been started, but I'm going to have a go at it for this guy. I just appreciate him sending it up to me. I think it come from down south. I really appreciate him sending it up to me. The fact that he started 2 years ago, I wasn't able to complete it. Actually, it's a bit of an honour to be able to have a go at it, and hopefully I won't make a mess of it like I did the F1 that I finished yesterday. So, rightio worlds, I'll get back to you later when I've got some things painted. I've gone through the destruction sheet and I'm starting to actually work out what I can put on and make sure everything's here. So, rightio worlds, catch you later. Bye. Rightio worlds, a little bit later. I tried to throw a bit of paint on, and as you can see, well, one, my paints have gone all watery, and two, it's really hard trying to paint all engine parts when they're already attached to the engine. It just got really messy, so I sort of kind of just decided to give up. Just throw a lot of silver paint around. I was going to paint the heads and do all that, but it just got too messy. And just trying to paint, like as I was saying, trying to paint parts and when they're already attached to part of the model. Yeah, it's just not working out, so that's about as much as I'm going to paint of the motor. It's better than it looked, but it's still not right. So anyway, right, so it's time for me to look at the destruction sheet, see how far he's got with this model and where I need to start picking it up from. So rightio worlds, I'll get back to you later. Rightio worlds, it's the next day and it's pretty late in the afternoon. I've been busy all day doing all sorts of shit, so I'm getting along pretty well with this truck model. Actually, it's going together quite well. I did have one problem when I went to put the engines in, so I managed to get the fuel tanks on. I managed to get the mud guards on. I got the rear tail lights in, which I had to paint. I went to put the motor in, and there was a cross beam here that was completely crooked. Sorry, fuck. So yeah, mud guards are on, tail lights are in, cross beams in, exhaust pipes are on, exhaust pipe tanks there underneath on. Got the motor and gearbox in, got the radiator on, got the hoses hooked up. I did have a problem getting the motor in. There was a cross beam across where the gearbox went under that was like sideways, and I couldn't get the motor in. So we had these cross beams here on the frame. He glued it together and it was all crooked. So I actually had to cross out one major cross beam. I had to cut it out completely with these and a major set of choppers just to get the motor in there to have it sitting as straight as I can. So things are a little bit skewy. I believe that's where the cab's going to rest on that. I couldn't quite work out the book, just I'll put that note. This one here, this is going to be where the cab sits on. I think that's a little bit crooked, and if that's crooked, the cab's not even going to sit straight. So I'll have a lot of fun. Let's try when you start putting these together. You've got your rails just a little bit like you got your main rails here, just a little bit skew. If you go to start installing the cab and stuff like that, that's when things really don't start lining up, and that's when you start having some serious problems. Even having the radiator lined up was not 100% true on, but so far it's going together really well. The instruction sheet's pretty good. Done a little bit more painting and so forth, just little things there like the gear, my gear stick and the CB antenna and so forth. That's all painted. Now this truck is lime green. Now this is sort of getting into what the next stage of it, where you start putting the cab and the sleep together, and oh my god, this is where I really start to struggle joining these sections together like a box section. You sort of put it together and it all folds down, and I've had a lot of trouble trying to put some of these truck cabs together. It's just especially trying to put the sleeper cabs together, it's an absolute nightmare. There's them all lime green. So doors and stuff, I won't be painting them. I'm going to do them green, but whether I and the other problem, well, the other situation I've got at the moment also is, which really sucks, is all my main marker pens, my acrylic marker pens, most of them have actually dried up, and my silver's not working, and most of my other colours aren't working, and so I really have to think about investing in some more marker pens. That really sucks, because when I go to do the fine work, and you can't do that with a paintbrush, these are really good. I used to get them, I went over to Childers a couple of times, like not last year, the year before when I was riding building model, and I bought a couple of packs of these marker pens, and ended up buying a big pack of these, and they turned out to be shit. No, they turned out to be completely useless for working on models. Just no good, unfortunately. So I wasted all that money buying this big pack of marker pens, and they were just no good for working on the models with. They were just, they're artist pens, they're certainly not model pens. So really struggling to do the fine little intricate bits that I normally do. But anyway, like I said, this is someone else's model I'm putting together. I wanted to do a red interior in the cab, even though it's green, and I want to do a full-on red interior, so I nicked down the hardware, no red paint. Last can of red paint went out the door on Friday, and he's got no more red paint in, so I had to go through all my paints in the shed to see what I can find. So I guess you'll just have to wait and see what that turns out to be. So yeah, a little bit, yeah, it's trouble. Look, I love living in Biggin, I will rave about it, but sometimes you know, it can be a little bit frustrating because you go down to your local hardware and he just hasn't got the stuff in. It could take him a week to get it in, and I just want to get in, and you know, I just want to progress with the model stage after stage. I'm literally at this stage now where this part of the truck's done, and I'm starting to do the next part of the truck is doing the interior of the cab, steering wheel, seats, gear, gear lever, dash, and all that's going in next. So that's, you know, I wanted the paint so I could start on the interior of the cab. You can't really move forward until you do this in the stage that they tell you to. You don't go jump ahead and putting all your cab together. I don't anyway. I just do it as the instruction sheet says. It says build this part now, I build that part now, and then I work my way through it. So if you end up getting to a part where you're stalled on paint or you're stalled on something else, that's it. You can go no further with the model. So anyway, that's just the way I do things. So at the moment, yeah, I got the interior painted. You'll have to wait and see what colour that turned out to be, and I can't really start on that. That's out in the sun right now, just cooking itself, so the paint goes nice and hard and dry. So before I start trying to glue things together, and that's when it gets really tricky. So, and I think I've got a bit of decal to put on. I'm sure there's a dash decal in here somewhere. Oh yes, yeah, we've got a dash decal there. I'm looking forward to putting that on. Not a big sticker sheet, or not a big decal sheet, which I'm okay about. And also the dreaded glass. Now this can be an absolute nightmare putting glass on, especially when you've got all your small glass and your side windows. Normally I started getting better at it towards the end of like my car models, where sometimes you put the glass in and a bit of glue and it just fog out the whole glass and pretty much ruin the whole model. It's really hard. Well, I find it really hard to get the glass in there nice and clean, without any sticky finger marks or without any glue going where it shouldn't go. But anyway, we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. So, righto, well, really enjoying this. Like I said, I'm really starting to get into picking up where this guy left off. There was a couple of, yeah, just a couple of things that weren't done right, unfortunately, which means when it comes to lining things up, I don't know how it's going to go down the track. So, you know, maybe the cab won't sit on the frame properly and things like that. But, you know, that's part and parcel of, you know, picking up someone else's job. So, but anyway, well, thoroughly enjoying it. Love being back into building models. So, anyway, well, I'll get back to you later on and get a bit more done. Alright, well, it's more time again later. I've got the fifth wheel on the back. I think I've already showed you. Had the mud flaps on, engines in, everything under there's done. Blah blah blah. I think everything pretty much under there's done for the time being. I've just finished getting the cab together. It was a little bit tricky, and of course I got paw marks on my glass as always. So I have a bit. It's never easy getting this box section together. So I've got it together now. It's just going to sit there and dry for like a couple of hours before I try and do the next part. And also, I got my interior done. I went with red and black seats. So that's the interior done, and some tanks underneath and another bracket. So there, that's the interior done. So what happens now is when this is all dry and like really dry, I slide that up into there and then start working on the bonnet and a few other things after that. So that's all. So at the moment, if I try and insert this up into here, into the cab, everything's just going to fall apart. You've got, and I've also got a few bits that I've only just stuck on recently, so everything's just got to stay there as it is and let dry for at least a good 1 or 2 hours before I try and insert that into the cab of the body. So Anyway, well, it's plodding along slowly. I'm really enjoying this. Most of it's going together really well. I'm really enjoying building this model. This is great. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm just taking my time and just doing it all piece by piece, and absolutely thoroughly enjoying it. So, and I'm also out in the back shed prepping for Cyclone Alfred coming down the coast. It's Tuesday today. Impacts are going to start happening somewhere around tomorrow, and they reckon Thursday will be the heavy impact. So I've got a lot of prep work to do. I'm cleaning out the back shed, getting ready for Joe's stuff to come up as well, and just getting anything loose that's laying around like ladders and stuff like that, just folding them all up, getting them all packed away. So anyway, Worlds, get back to you later. Morning, Worlds. Well, it's yet another day, and still been plugging away at this truck model. A few other things coming up. We've got the Cyclone coming down, so I've been out doing a bit of prep work. And also at a delicate stage of the model now where I'm sort of putting bits on. I've just got to leave it for a long time each time. Had a bit of fun putting the sleeper cab together. I've got a hair tie around it just to hold the box together, just kept it more stable. It can come off now. You probably can't see in there, but I've got 2 sleeper beds in there. That was interesting to put together. This whole model, making this box, was somewhat of a pain in the ass. But anyway, I got it done. It's not 100% square, but I got it done. And I'm also a fair way along with the truck body now, so got the side skirt on, got the plate there, got the bonnet on. This is where building someone else's model doesn't always work, because I had to cut off a main bracket and so forth, and now the cab's not quite where it should be. Also, that doesn't quite line up there on either side. Can't see on either side because well, the cab probably should have been moved a little bit further back, and it's probably why the bonnet doesn't close as well, but it does open all the way, which is okay. So getting it a little bit further on, got the 5th wheel on, the seat inside the cab, inside the driver's seat there. I don't know if you can see that, sorry, camera works shit. The driver's side seat keeps not staying in position and falling out, so I've got that sitting there. I've got to come in through the back with a pair of tweezers to put it into position. Like I've got literally a pair of tweezers put in position, and then I'm just going to have to leave the truck sit in one spot for quite a few hours and just let that seat dry, because it doesn't seem to want to stick to the floor pan very well, which is a bit of a shame. It could be a little bit silly having a truck with no driver's seat, but the only way in is in through the back sleeper cab there. Try and get it back into position without breaking off either the gear stick or steering wheel or any other thing. So also clearance lights and top horns are on. So look, yeah, it's coming together really well. I'm certainly having a good time building this model. It's a shame that certain things don't line up, and I've done a couple of things out of order because also the lime green skirts. Now they were the same colour. Those skirts were this colour, that same colour green. And not knowing the model, I sort of looked at the parts that, oh yeah, they're part of the interior in the cab, so I went out and sprayed them all with the last bit of red paint I had, and then find out later it's a skirt. So lucky I had some lime green paint, not quite matching, but anyway, I had some lime green paint in a spray can in the shed, and yeah, so that's why it's ended up lime green. So getting down towards the end of it now, while I've got the sleeper cab off, I've got some exhaust pipes fittings to try and fit underneath. The destruction sheet is very unclear on where those fittings actually are and how they go. And then it's the tricky stage of getting the side mirrors on. That's always not much fun. And then a few handles and stuff, and a few other little tricky bits around the place. So anyway, getting down towards it, certainly had a really good time building this model. It's made me want to get back into building the models again. And just taking my time and you know, don't care that it's taking me 3-4 days to get this done. So that's where the other the F1 model, I sort of, even though it took 4 days, but I kind of rushed my way through that one because I just wanted to pump one out just to get the feel of it again. This one I'm happy just to leave it sit for 3-4 days, leave just parts glued to it and walk away and stuff like that without trying to attack it all the time. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying this model. So rightio, well, I'll get back to you a bit later when I'm sort of almost on the home straight. So rightio, catch you later, bye. Alright, well, I'm back. It's just coming on to 3 in the afternoon, and this model is done. Quite a few faults with it. My guard's a bit crooked. I enjoyed doing the build, but there are a few faults with it. Things down the back, never got the exhaust pipes mounted properly because these brackets didn't mount on properly. The stickers, the decals, they were a complete nut. I'll get it in the light. Maybe if I turn that way. Oh yeah, so the decals, these are the only decals I could salvage and afford decal, and same on the other side. There's the front. I did manage to salvage the number plate. The bonnet doesn't sit right. mirrors are a bit wonky. See the seams out of alignment here, and of course I told you about the lime green being the wrong colour because I painted it red before I realised it was part of the outside of the truck. And that's the only decal I could save on this side. Plus a small one there you can't see. I did get the number and the Ford badge up there, but the rest of it could not be salvaged as far as decals are concerned. Could not salvage any of the decals. They were just too old and stuck to the paper, and I was lucky to just get the ones off I did. So I didn't do any chrome highlights that I normally do because my chrome pens aren't working, and the only chrome pens working were just too fat. What I realised what I should have done, because of the problem up here at the moment, what I should have done is I should have mounted the bonnet first to where it closed, then slid the cab in behind it and mated it all up and put the brackets in. But like I said, I'm so out of practice in building models at the moment. The little tricks of the trade I didn't quite catch on to quick enough. So, but anyway, like I said, this is the first model of someone else's I've taken on after they've started the build. I would have liked to have had a lot more decals over this model. It's just a shame that the decals just won't come off the paper, and I never got to use the rear number plate either, and that decal didn't come off. So, but overall, look, I had fun doing this model. It's fairly fresh. As you see, like the wheels are in the wrong spot here. The mirrors are a little bit wonky. They didn't seem to go on right, and the bonnet does actually still open, so you can sort of get in and have a view. I'll give it a turn around. So you can sort of get in there and get a bit of a view of the motor. Normally I would paint all this, but because it was already put on first, it made it really hard to paint. And of course I ran out of red paint on the dash there. So, anyhow, Welds, that's the Ford AEROMAX 106. It was a big box that came down in the mail, and a few little goodies added in as well. So that's the Ford AEROMAX 106, model complete. Even though it was partly built, it still took me, what, 3-4 days to get this model done, and I worked up pretty late last night because I wasn't able to go to sleep, so I stuck the overhead light on and just worked till about 11 o'clock putting bits and pieces together. So anyway, Waltz, really great to knock off another model. Really enjoyed this one, and I can't wait to get into one of the two kits over there. They're both brand new, so any mistakes are all completely on me. So, but anyway, Waltz, I've enjoyed doing this one, so stay safe, keep your knees in the breeze, and I will catch you later. Bye.